Alright, this is John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Today, another exciting episode for you. I'm coming at you all the way from the Windy City, also known as Chicago, Illinois. And why I'm here today is actually I'm here for the largest houseware show in the entire country. Actually, it's a 2016 International Home and Houseware Show. This is at the McCormick Place here in Chicago, one of the largest convention centers in the entire United States. There's companies from all over the world inside the convention center showing the latest and greatest housewares, juicers, kitchen appliances, table sets, glassware, basically anything that you'd have in your house, including laundry baskets, it's inside there. So my mission here for you guys is to actually walk the whole show floor and share with you guys the best appliances that are going to allow you to lead a healthy lifestyle and include more of the best foods on the planet for you, including the fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. So let's go ahead and head inside the houseware show, share with you guys what it looks like inside, and then actually get into start sharing with you guys some of the cool booths that I found for 2016 and products that Discount Juicers will be picking up real soon. So now I want to share with you guys actually some of the innovations in juicing. There's not a lot of innovations in juicing this show, and actually one of the major companies, one of the major players in juicers, Huron, is not even at this show. So I'm kind of disturbed on what are they doing with their American brand. But Kuvings actually has the most new innovations here of any of the juicer companies, in my opinion. And what they have this time is they have the all new Whole Slow Juicer Chef. This is a commercial, going to be NSF approved model for commercial duty. So what this means is you could run the juicer 8 hours non-stop with no problem. They've been using this commercial juicer here non-stop, day in, day out. Other juicers, like there's standard Whole Slow Juicer by Kuvings is for the home model, and I do not recommend using home model juicers for commercial applications. Or say you juice a lot and you drink a lot of juice, your whole family drinks juice, you want to get a commercial model here. Now the main difference between one of those high speed machines and a slow juicer such as the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is this. Take a look at this. This is a Kuvings centrifugal juicer, and you get juicer separation, right? Nobody wants to drink that. That has less phytonutrients and phytochemicals than the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer juice. And look at the color difference. I'm going to put that next to each other. Look at that. A lot deeper, richer color. That means it's extracting more of the lycopene and the antioxidants in there. And yeah, you get a little separation after time, but you get a lot more juice, a lot less separation, and a lot more nutrients. So what I want to share with you guys next is actually what Kuvings has been doing here and the new machines they have for this year. And basically they have 2 new juicers and 1 new blender that I'll show you guys in a second. So as you guys just saw, the demonstration juicer, which is the same as this is the Whole Slow Juicer Chef model. This is the commercial model. Now this is in excess of $1,000, so most of you guys won't be buying that, but if you're in a commercial and you want a slow juicer, cold press juicer, this is the machine that I would recommend to you guys that are opening up juice bars or want to juice a lot. Now for those of you guys that aren't into that, you want the next machine I'll show you guys, which is their improved Whole Slow Juicer. The thing about this is that it actually has a nice large 3.5-inch feed chute. This is the largest feed chute on any slow juicer at this time, or any juicer for that matter. Moving over here, they have their original Whole Slow Juicer on this level, the 6000 model, but now they have the new model up here. This is the C7000 model. So now I'm going to share with you guys a new Kuvings 7000 model Whole Slow Juicer that is improved and upgraded over the original 6000 model. So this is the new model here. It has an improved new smart cap that you can actually close. It looks like the where the juice comes out actually is a little bit larger, so this makes it also easier to clean. They're also including a little strainer basket so you could actually sieve out the pulp that is in your juice. I think they should have done this from the get-go. And another improvement I like a lot is actually they now have a nice funnel for the top of the machine, so this will make feeding in the produce significantly easier. The feed chute on this is also 3 inches as their previous generation was, and the other main features are actually they've improved the auger shape, so it's more efficient than ever. Also, they've improved the juicing screen right here as well. And the main improvement on the juicing screen is now on the bottom of the juicing screen, it's not fully open, it's closed, and it has a silicone gasket here that's going to hopefully prevent all the dripping on the base of the unit that is inherent with the design of vertical juicers on many other ones. So I really hope they got this squared away. In addition, this bowl, you know, is really simple and easy to clean because it does not have that gasket in the bottom, and they've also redesigned the bottom, you know, to improve it. So I look forward to testing this machine. I don't think the yields are going to change significantly a lot, but I'm glad Kuvings is making steps to always improve their machines and make them better. The next thing I want to do for you guys, actually, I'm going to go ahead and juice some carrots in the Kuvings Chef juicer, and also juice some nice large apples to show you guys how easy it is. And then we'll actually take you guys over to the new Kuvings blender to show you guys some of its features. So now I'm going to go ahead and get to use the Kuvings whole slow juicer Chef for the second time, because the first time actually I used it yesterday to juice 4 pounds of carrots, and actually I do need to report the yield was quite good, and you know, it put less pulp in the juice than their previous models that I have tested, so this was good also. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and juice about 12 ounces of carrots because I need it for the next booth you guys will see. I'm going to actually do something very special with this carrot juice I'm making. So it's really super simple, super easy to use the Kuvings whole slow juicer Chef. Drop in the carrots. The motor is powerful enough to literally grind them up and turn that into juice. So now, as you guys can see, I've juiced about 12 ounces of carrots. This is good for the special project I'm going to be doing in a second. Now I want to show you guys how easy it is to juice whole apples in the Kuvings whole slow juicer Chef. Look at that, just drop it in. It automatically feeds in, and the machine takes that apple, chops it all up, and puts it into the juice. You could juice, what, I think like 300 apples in 1 hour. For 8 hours straight, that's like over 2,000 apples you could juice in a day. Amazing, look at that. Super simple, super easy. No longer do you need a pusher or anything. Tomatoes, pears, all gonna work really easily in the Kuvings whole slow juicer Chef. Next, I want to go ahead and share with you guys what I'm going to do with this carrot juice in the Kuvings blender. So now I want to share with you guys the all-new Kuvings power blender that they're introducing at this show. It's 1,500 watts of power, 32,000 RPMs maximum. And let me tell you guys, I've been using a version of this at my home you know, to take the place of my Vitamix for quite a while now, and I can say it does have good performance, and I hope they're dialing it in and even making it better. And by the looks of this, they are, because they've done a few things differently than the previous generation of this. This has some pre-programmed functions, so you could basically press the button, it'll turn itself on, it'll blend your ingredients, and then it'll turn itself off. It has a pulse, a smoothie, and a juice button. Although this is not really a juice button, it's not gonna make juice, it's gonna make a really finer consistency for you guys. BPA-free carafe, nice and heavy duty. It's not gonna leak off the top. It has all these sealing rings I like a lot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pour in my 12 ounces of carrot juice. Actually, that's a fairly pulp-free juice. Then we're gonna go ahead and take this sodium alginate here, and you're gonna find out why this is so important in just a minute. And I'm gonna go ahead and take 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the cool thing about the Kuvings power blender is that you don't need to run it at high speed if you don't want to. It is completely adjustable. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the button to turn it on. When it's blue, it's ready to go. And we're just gonna turn this just a little bit to stir it up, to mix it up. We don't want it glugging. We don't want, you know, to get that mixture everywhere. We just want to stir it up just a little bit. Now, of course, if you're doing a smoothie, you could blast it up to high. I'm not gonna do that today. Once we got that mixture nice and mixed, all we gotta do is just turn it back to stop, and then we're completely done. And now this mixture we could go ahead and pour in here, and the sodium alginate is basically making this mixture a bit thicker. And you're gonna find out why this is important in the next exhibitor booth that I'll be visiting. So yeah, this Kuvings power blender definitely worked out well for me in this situation, and has worked out well for me for the last 6 months as I've been testing it actually myself in the home. So I look forward to this blender coming out, and hopefully it'll be at a good affordable price point, more competitive than the Vitamix and Blendtec. So the next product I want to introduce you guys to is super cool, man. It's probably one of the coolest things I've seen here. It's actually known as the Spherificator. So say that about 5 times. Spherificator, Spherificator, Spherificator. What this device allows you to do, it allows you to take any liquid, you know, and as you guys saw, I just made the carrot juice earlier and added that sodium alginate in there, and it allows you to take any liquid such as a juice water, so it's got to be kind of thin. It can't be thick, I mean, they've been demonstrating it with like Coca-Cola. I don't necessarily recommend drinking Coke, but one of the things I want to do with it is actually use something like spirulina water, that I grew, and then put it through this machine. Anyways, it needs to be a fine texture, so you need to filter it out before you put it in the Spherificator. And what the Spherificator does, it makes little spears, right? Little round things you could eat. It's like they have that boba tea or something like that, that have all these floaty things. Well, you could now make those at home, 100% plant-based, no animal products involved, with no heat involved. This is completely amazing. So let me go ahead and take you guys over and show you guys how it works. So before I get into demonstrating, that carrot juice mixture that I made a little bit earlier, is I want to more explain about the Spherificator device and how it came to be about, So there's a company that makes this kelp caviar, right? And the kelp caviar contains no animal products. It's not from fish, it's from kelp. And what they do is actually they make it into these little balls that look like caviar, right? These little balls are actually, these ones are actually made out of Coca-Cola or soda, but there's other applications you could use healthy things in there. So the cool thing is these little balls, which I haven't tried because I'm not eating like Coca-Cola, they're nice and they're bouncy. They kind of bounce a little bit actually. So you can have, non-toxic food fights. Not that I recommend you guys do that with your spherificated balls. That sounded funny. But anyways, what you do is you just simply take the Spherificator, you open up the top, and then you're gonna go ahead and pour in your mixture here, and we're running it through a strainer to make sure it's a nice, desired consistency. If it's too thick, it's not gonna make the balls for you. In this one, actually, I think they have some Coca-Cola, so we're gonna go ahead and put that aside. But on this one, we've preset it up with my carrot juice mixture inside there. So all you need to do is put the top on, and then you're gonna go ahead and put it over this bowl with another strainer, and you add a little bit of the calcium chloride that'll actually get the balls, once they hit the water, to congeal into the balls. So you're gonna go ahead and take your Spherificator and put it over your collection bowl, and you're just gonna go ahead and simply hit the button. So as you guys can see, this thing is not working. That's not because it's not working, that's because of user error, namely me. This is my first time doing this, and you must add precise amounts of the sodium alginate to the liquid you're doing, and evidently I added too much because this is way too thick, and as you guys see, it's not working. So instead of making my carrot juice balls that I wanted to, I'm gonna show you guys how you could easily make the Coke balls. And that's in this guy right here. We could go ahead and turn this guy on. You're gonna hit the button, and as you guys can see in there, it basically turns the Coke with the sodium alginate into little balls. Let me go ahead and pull this guy out for you guys. And as you guys can see, I got all these little balls here that are now made out of Coke. Now, my goal was to do it with a carrot juice, not Coke, but this is how they turn out, and they're nice and smushy, and I want to actually eat these guys. If you guys are familiar with sea tangle kelp noodles, which I actually don't recommend you guys eat because it is sodium alginate, water, and kelp, this is a way you could actually make new distinct textures that you could float these in cocktails. You could add them to your soups, you could add them to your raw food recipes, you could bring them to potlucks. People are going to trip out on what the heck these guys are. It's only sodium alginate and the liquid that you choose. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys the new products at Omega that are being announced this year, and some of them are definitely really cool. So let's go ahead and head over and show you guys the all-new Omega juicers coming out real soon. So now I want to show you guys the two new Omega juicers that they've announced at this show. Now, they haven't announced any new vertical juicers, but they have two brand new horizontal single auger machines. The one that I'm kind of the most excited about is this guy right here. This is known as the Juice Cube. So check it out. If we open up the packaging on there, look at this. The main thing about the Juice Cube is that it's compacts down and stores into a little cube, so it doesn't look like some meat grinder looking juicer on your countertop. So hopefully you leave it out more, and actually you'll use it more. And basically what this is basically just a single auger horizontal juicer, very similar to the Omega 8007 and 8008 machines, actually at a little bit better price points, and pretty much has the same functions. All the parts compact down and store really quickly and easily. I expect the yields to be similar to the current models. Now moving over to this side, we got the all-new Omega compact horizontal single auger juicer. This machine I like because it's actually nice and small and compact, and also it has the lowest price point of any of the Omega single auger juicers. It also has the Ultim auger and a nice long warranty, which is Omega's trademark. So the next thing I want to do besides the juicers, they have announced a new blender that I'm quite excited about. So let me go ahead and take you guys over and show you Omega's new blender. So the product that I'm most excited about here at the Omega booth is Omega's all new travel blender. Check it out. It may look like other travel blenders that are on the market, but because it's going to be backed up by Omega, it's going to be higher quality with a longer warranty. In addition, besides just the 3 different size carafes that it comes with, it's going to come with 2 of each of these carafes, and you know, that's going to be definitely better for people that have large families. So now you can basically make smoothies to go for each of your family members, or if you drink a lot of smoothies, you could, you know, make a couple smoothies so that you could drink during the day without having to, like, you know, pour it into a different container to save it. And it's gonna be priced competitively as compared to other machines of this type on the market, with a longer warranty and definitely better reliability because it is Omega. So now I want to share with you guys a really important booth and appliance that I believe everybody in the whole country should own, and it's actually the one right behind me. This is a brand new company to the International Home and Houseware Show. I've seen them at other shows before, actually, and actually I've been using the product for over a year now. And what the product is, it's actually called the Berry Breeze. And I know this is a common problem you guys have, because I know you guys are buying lots of fruits and vegetables to eat, because these are the healthiest foods on the planet that we should all be including. But the problem with the fruits and vegetables when you buy them at the store, like strawberries, you buy them, a couple days later they look like this. And this is especially true if you get them at the farmer's market, because they're not sprayed with things like copper that prevents some of this from happening, right? The fresher your berries, the faster they're gonna go bad. But what the Berry Breeze does, it keeps your food fresher up to 3 times longer. And I wouldn't be here telling you guys about this if I didn't experience this myself. I have 3 fridges. I go shopping wholesale maybe once a month. I put food in my fridges, and 2 of my fridges have the Berry Breeze, 1 does not. So I use pretty much my most important produce only goes in the ones that have the Berry Breeze, and I got a 3rd Berry Breeze I'll be start using. And I've been using this device over a year. And let me tell you guys, I was at the wholesale produce terminal in November, late November, near Thanksgiving. I bought things like grapefruits and oranges and cactus fruits in November, and it's March right now. And I'm not gonna say I didn't have losses. I had losses, but you know, the cactus fruits I just juiced early March before I came to this show. My grapefruits I just ate last week. I juiced some of them. They're fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna say none of them molded, but come on, keeping grapefruits 3 months. Now, I'm not gonna say every fruit or vegetable will last this long. Of course, certain fruits store longer than others just inherently in the fruit itself, but you will get much less losses by using a Berry Breeze. It's gonna save you guys so much money over time, and it's gonna allow you to get the produce into you instead of having it go to the trash can. Or a better solution is actually to compost it so you could actually grow food with it. So what I want to share with you guys at this booth is a little demonstration they're doing, and explain to you guys more about the amazing Berry Breeze that allows you to keep your produce fresher longer. So what they have here is a smell test going on, and let's go ahead and share with you guys more about it. So now I want to share with you guys more about the Berry Breeze. What is the Berry Breeze? Well, it's this little device right here that you put inside your fridge. You put some alkaline D-sized batteries in there. It takes 4 of them, not included. And it comes on automatically, and how you know it's on is that there's a little green light that activates, and then it is working. So what this does, it actually puts out activated oxygen. Now this activated oxygen acts as a sanitizer. It'll sanitize your fridge better than any baking soda ever did. And furthermore, because it's activated oxygen, it will kill the mold, the bacteria, the yeast, and all these things. And these are what make your food spoil, right? And it's very effective at doing that. As I said, I've been using this over a year myself, and I see very few losses, and I'm amazed at how long some of my produce stays. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I still have those berries in there from a week ago, and they're not even messed up. Of course, it's important when you're selecting your produce to buy Don't get ones that are already spoiled, right? Get the ones that are in good shape first, and then this will preserve it for a longer period of time. Now, how this works is two methods. Because it has the activated oxygen, your fridge is shut. So this is a closed, contained space that all the activated oxygen gets to work. And when you open your fridge, all that dissipates, right? But then when you close your fridge again, it's able to work. So don't like open your fridge up every 15 minutes to look and see it working, right? It's not gonna work. But if you leave your fridge closed for several hours at a time, overnight even, perfect time, it's totally working for you and totally gonna work. Now, the activated oxygen, besides just, killing the mold, the bacteria and all this, and will sterilize your fridge. So this is important for you guys that are germaphobes, that, maybe you're a vegetarian, vegan, but you have meat eaters in the house. This is the thing you gotta buy for sure. It'll kill all that bad bacteria in there, man, or sanitize your fridge, or say you moved into a new place and you're paranoid about like whatever was in the fridge and the tenants before you. You gotta get one of these. I mean, here's the thing. I use the same activated oxygen technology on a car I bought used off Craigslist, a much more powerful unit, and I enclosed it in the car because the car I bought smelled like cigarette smoke, smelled nasty. I put activated oxygen unit in there, shut the windows, shut the doors up, closed it in there for like a day or two. A couple days later, I opened the car up, and no longer smelled like smoke, disinfected the whole car. That's the power of the activated oxygen in this. Now, besides just killing the mold and bacteria, like I said, it also negates the effect of ethylene gas. Ethylene gas is one of the main factors that causes your produce to spoil faster, right? So, especially things like the fruits, and I want you guys to be eating lots of fresh fruits, right? As much as fresh fruits have sugar in it, right? And people say, oh, sugar's bad. Yes, refined sugar is completely bad. I do not recommend any kind of agave nectar, sugar or any that kind of things like white powders and all this stuff, or sugars and products. But the sugar in the fruit is the good for you, because not only does fruit have small amounts of sugar, it has tons of water, which is the biggest component in any fruit, so it's hydrating you. In addition, it has phytochemicals and phytonutrients. Some of these phytochemicals and phytonutrients have been shown to reduce how fast the sugar gets into your bloodstream, and as well, fruit has fiber. So you can only do this if you use a machine like this, because the facts of the matter are clear. There's statistics that say 30 to 40% of the fresh fruit and vegetables that you guys buy end up in the garbage can, and hopefully you guys are composting them. And think about it, if every American had one of these and we reduced our food waste, right, that could feed a lot of extra people, right? So I mean, doing this is just your patriotic duty to get one of these so that you could save money and stop throwing away food, and also, have less food waste in the world. So the thing I want to do now is do a smell test, and what they have here, they have two boxes with the same identical item, and they have this for people at the event here to smell, to determine which one has the berry breeze and which one doesn't. So let's see if my sniffer can detect that. So over on the blue one, we're going to go ahead and lift this guy up and smell it, and yeah, I definitely smell some food in there, and to me, the food does not smell good. Let's go over to the red one. Actually, it smells like clean, fresh air. So let's go ahead and reveal which had what. And as you guys can see, we're seeing McDonald's, hash browns and pancakes in this side with no berry breeze. And over on this side, you can see the berry breeze unit functioning. So yes, it definitely takes away the smell of nasty smelling McDonald's. It'll also take away the nasty smells in your guys' fridge. Now, the most important thing for me is that unlike many other devices on the market, you may go to your produce section and see these little balls or discs or things you gotta buy. The problem with those guys is that you gotta keep rebuying them. You're gonna be wasting your money, man, every couple weeks or whatever. You gotta rebuy it because those things expire. And hopefully you're tearing those packages open and put them in your compost because it's all 100% compostable. Those things don't even work, because let me tell you why they don't work. I've used those, I've tried those before. The reason why they don't work is because you forget about them, you forget to replace them, you forget to buy a new one, right? The only thing you guys need to do with the Berry Breeze is, number one, buy it, and the amazing thing is they just lowered the pricing on this, so now it's more affordable than ever, and you only have to just look in your fridge and make sure the light's on, right? And let me tell you, buy some D-alkaline batteries in bulk. When this light goes off, replace the batteries, put it back in there, you're up and running. It's a one-time purchase of the machine. You don't gotta keep rebuying little packets of junk like other companies here are selling, and it's gonna cost you a lot of money. This thing will save you so much money, so just do it. So learn more about this product. If you're seeing this video, it's up available now at discountjuicers.com. So I gotta run, I got a couple more products to share with you guys here at the International Home and Houseware Show. So now I want to introduce you guys to the blender that I've been waiting for to be announced and available in the US. As you guys know that follow me, you know, last year I actually had this in my video of all the best products I liked last year, but I'm going to have it again because since last year I've even learned more about it, and now I've been more excited about, you know, the arrival of the Objecto Bugatti Vento blender here in the USA. I mean, you guys don't understand, like, this is the latest and greatest in blending technology. It blows all other blenders away so far in the specifications. I've yet to test it, but just seeing how it works here and using it, I'm totally amazed. So number one thing that sets this apart from all other blenders on the market, this is the first blender that is available in the USA that is DC motor powered, right? You guys, you know, may know what DC means, or you guys may not. DC means direct current. AC means alternating current. Actually all blenders on the market until now are AC, alternating current. What this means is that it's not as powerful as they claim, because here's the thing. With an AC motor, as you put something really thick, a mixture in there, it bogs down the motor. And even though the rating of RPMs may be in excess of 20,000 RPMs, as you put something in there, like I make thick, like young coconut meat with dates and vanilla bean, a little bit of water, not too much water, because I'm making a nice young coconut meat pudding, right? And that I've stopped up Vitamixes and Blendtec blenders, and they just stop running and they start running at a slow RPM. So you're really not getting the cutting and creating the consistency that you desire, because a blender can't handle these tough jobs. With the DC motor, it'll never stop, it'll never bog down, it'll keep the consistent RPM. You don't understand, these are brushless motors, high-end motors, right? These are similar motors that they use in the Tesla car. The Tesla car, you know, electric car, one of the fastest cars in America, right? You could get in the car, floor it, and it's as fast as a motorcycle. It'll beat a lot of those supercars. That's because it's DC powered. DC powered blenders are the future. And this one, they've really thought about, designed properly. This is designed in Italy, and I mean, they're going over with me all the features, which is blowing my mind. They've got every little thing worked out, and I don't know why other companies can't do this. Makes me mad, because I want the industry to move forward, and the Bugatti Vento blender is, in my opinion, leading the way. So now I want to share with you guys some of the features of this machine that make it quite unique. Number one, 4.26 horsepower, most powerful blender on the market. Number two, it has 60 different speed settings with an increment of maybe 200 to 400 depending on the speed, and it could go from like 400 RPMs all the way up to 15,000 RPMs, right? And now that's not running as fast as some of the other blenders on the market, but it keeps its constant speed, and because of its specific blade design, it's sharper than other blades I've seen, so it's going to do a lot better cutting, which means in the end you could run the blender for less time and have the desired consistency you want. Now, if that wasn't enough, of course, this is a BPA-free container, which, you know, is a must these days. But more importantly than that, they have a really nice blade design. So let me go ahead and show you guys that. Easy to remove out the bottom. Normally, you need to have a spanner or a wrench tool to do this. I had pre-loosened this. But this is the blade on here, and, you know, you guys can't really see that on the camera, but you don't want to be pushing against this blade too much because it is quite sharp. The way they have this cut is a special cut, but not only a special cut, you know, they explained to me that they have this special cut so that they could have a special sharpness to the blade, not on the edge, but in the middle of these little U's here. So this is 100% stainless steel, and they really are using high quality bearings. This is one of the most important things that many knockoff blenders don't have, and even, in my opinion, Blendtec is still working on their bearings, because I blow out a Blendtec carafe every year or so. You know, the bearings are just not good enough. So these are stainless steel sealed bearings with stainless steel balls and rollers in there, and these can put up with the not only horsepower, but also the torque in this blender. So I'm really like this blade design. Also, if you should need to you know, replace the blade, they're actually about comparable to other, you know, blades on the market. So I like that a lot. The other thing that sets this machine apart is the carafe. It's a nice heavy-duty carafe, BPA-free. At present time, they have one carafe, which is, this is it. It's the standard regular jar. They also have other jars in development that'll be add-ons for later to do things like food processing, to do things like dry ingredients. These are coming out later. These will be accessory add-ons, and this is only available because this machine has such a low RPM that actually has torque behind it, and that will actually work for you guys. The other thing that this unit has is, actually, I could demonstrate it with it on. We're gonna go ahead and turn this guy on, right? There's blenders out there, and I've done this many times, well, not many times, a handful of times with my Vitamix or whatever. You could hit the start button with the top off and your stuff splatters all over your kitchen. That's not cool, man. I don't wanna like clean up splattered stuff. And also, that's a safety issue, because say you have kids and they start the blender and they, for some dumb reason, don't do this, always supervise your kids with your appliances, please. Stick their hands in there, right? This machine will not come on because they have a special magnetic piece here that presses down, and there's 4 sensors in here, so any position this blender's in, the cap needs to be on for it to turn on. So this is a really good safety feature, but not only that, it's going to prevent your kitchen from getting, you know, tomato juice splatter all over it. Completely amazing. I mean, I could keep going on all the features. I mean, one of the cool things is they have a special cleaning brush. You could reach in there and get all the parts you know, inside the machine. You know, no other blender that I know of includes a cleaning brush. In addition, you know, a standard piece on most blenders is a tamper that you could use, you know, with the top on, of course, to tamp the stuff in to make sure it gets blade contact time, so you could blend for a lesser amount of time. The cool technology that they have that I haven't seen anywhere else, I saw it here first on this machine, is on the top of the tamper, you press this little button here, and there's a thermometer on here, so you could actually see the temperature as you're blending in there. So if you want to make a soup, you could see that it comes to the proper temperature. Or say you're into raw foods and you don't want to get it above a certain temperature, you know, you could stop the blender before it hits that temperature, right? Oh, and then the other thing that's super critical that every blender should come with, and I've had to source my own spatulas, is, you know, especially after you make some expensive blended smoothies or salad dressings. You know, one of my favorite salad dressings uses raw macadamia nuts. If you go to Whole Foods, price raw macadamia nuts, they're $20 a pound, man. So I use fresh orange juice, raw macadamia nuts in here, make a nice thick, you know, homemade salad dressing. Tastes amazing. You guys got to do that. They have a spatula, so the spatula is specially designed, silicone spatula, nice and flexible here. Look at that, flexible. You could get in here and scoop out all of your mixture simply and easily, right? I mean, why don't other companies do this? That's because they've really thought about all this stuff. I mean, besides the carafe, we could go on to the base here. This piece right here is removable, so that's nice. This actually helps deaden the sound. And let's talk about sound for a second. This is one of the quietest blenders that I've experienced, you know, because number one, it's a DC motor, so it doesn't make the motor noise as another one. Plus, they've designed the, you know, the top and the bearing assembly really well with extra spacing in between the bushings, and, you know, so it's more quiet than other machines. Now, furthermore, you know, a lot of blenders, sometimes if you leak stuff on the top of the blender, you know, it may take out the motor if liquids get in there. Once again, another feature that they have is they designed this so, like, underneath here, this is basically waterproof. You spill water on here, there's a little channel that collects the water, funnels it down out the bottom of the machine. I mean, so this is I mean, if you want the best blender to date, this is the best one I've seen. I mean, it's all these little things that add up to make the best blender. And I mean, yes, of course, this blender is going to cost a bit more than the other blenders on the market, but it's the most technologically advanced that I've seen. So the next thing I want to show you is if we put the carafe on there, and you got to put the top on, make sure it's going to work, because if you don't put the top on, it's not going to light up like that for you guys. You could turn it on, and then you have different pre-programmed functions that are set at the factory for, so grinding beans, making dough, making martinis, you know, chopping ice, making soups, making smoothies, or you know, other features. And then they have this other button, the B. That's the B Chef button. This is something no other blender has, and that's the Bugatti Chef. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your tablet, your iPhone, and you're going to download their app, and then basically you could go to their app and you could basically, they have all these different recipes on their app that you could choose from. So, oh, they have raw food recipes. How convenient is that for me? You could press that, and then now you can see the different raw food recipes. Now, this has standard recipes in there. The cool thing is users such as you guys will be able to upload your recipes so you can share your raw food, vegan, vegetarian, or other recipes with others, and they could basically now say I want to make the apple celery goji berry recipe. I could press on that, and now I could just basically go over and it tells the ingredients you need. Now the cool thing is about this app is, say you have tomatoes in your fridge, or I don't recommend necessarily fridging your tomatoes, but say you have certain ingredients in your fridge, you could actually type in, hey, I got tomatoes, recipes that are on the Bugatti app, can I make with tomatoes? So then you could select those, so you could use some of the produce that you have in your fridge so it doesn't expire. So to select the app, you just go to the preparation, you press the button, and then it basically tells you, do you want to do it manually or do you want to download it to the Bugatti chef? So like, I don't know why anybody would do it manually in this day and age. It's all computer controlled. We're going to go ahead and press that. So now look, it wants me to select the device. We're going to select, go to the Vento Tower. So we're just going to go ahead and press that. And right now, it's going to connect to the Vento Tower. Now we had a recipe previously in there, so it knows that, hey, there's a smoothie recipe assigned to the B Chef button. So do we want to override it? And like the answer is yes, because I want to make the new smoothie. So as you guys can see, this tablet now is connecting with the blender, and it's going to tell you the ingredients you're supposed to put in the blender and the steps you need to take once you do that. And I'm not going to actually put the ingredients in there because I don't have them today. So once you got your blender set up with all the ingredients in there, you're going to go ahead and press the B Chef button to let the blender know that that's the program you're going to want run, that you just got downloaded from the app. Then you're going to press the start button, and check this out. The machine ran and it told you what was going on, and then now you're supposed to add the next step or the next set of ingredients. Then you're going to press next step. And then as you guys can see on the screen there, it's going to run the blender at a certain speed for a certain time. And you got to press the start for the next step. And as you guys can see, the screen on the app shows the speed of the blender and also how long it's going to run, right? So you know exactly what's going on even if you're in the other room. Oh, so now it's stopped. It wants me to add more ingredients. We're going to go ahead and hit the next step, and we're going to have to hit the start button to have it go to the next step. So basically, with the app, you can have unlimited recipes, and the main thing I like about the app is that, unlike other blenders on the market where you basically just press the start button and it runs at the same continuous speed the whole time, which in my opinion, in many cases, things like overblending occurs, which is not good because it reduces the amount of phytochemicals and phytonutrients, in the mixture. With this, it varies the speed to suck things down and to, then it speeds up to blend things so that you will never overblend if you have a recipe. So this is totally cool. Now, one of the last things I want to do with you guys today, to share with you guys, is actually I want to do something that's really hard on most blenders, that most blenders just won't even do. You take your household blender, it's not going to do this function. We're going to go ahead and take and open up the carafe, and we're just going to go ahead and take some rice, right? We're going to grind some rice. I mean, a lot of people nowadays are into gluten-free diets, right? And, they want to have rice flour or corn flour, or garbanzo bean flour. How the hell you make these? Well, with the Bugatti Vento blender, you can now do that in your home. So we're just going to go ahead and pour a bunch of rice in there. We're going to go ahead and put the top on. The machine comes on to let me know that the top is on. We're going to go ahead and turn this guy on. And we're going to go ahead and crank it up, because as much as you could use the automatic controls, we're going to use the manual controls. We're going to go ahead and crank it up to 60 now. And I mean, yes, this machine is at the high speed and it's still quieter than another machine, just running at full 15,000 RPMs right now. It's literally fractionating and turning this rice into rice powder. We're going to go ahead and let this run probably like, 60 seconds, because I want a nice fine consistency. The longer you let it run, the finer it is going to get in there and chop up. I mean, many blenders work by beating, like the BlendTech. They work by beating. What's really important for me is not only the beating, which this blender does, it's also the cutting action. So the cutting action, is much better on the Vitamix than the BlendTech, but this machine blows away even the cutting action. So what this means to you and your benefit as a customer is that you can run the blender for a shorter time and you can have a finer texture than any other blender on the market. So this is pretty much running. You're not really hearing any kind of like grain noise hitting the sides, because now we're pretty much a nice fine powder. We run it for a minute. We're going to go ahead and hit the stop button right now. And the other thing about this blender is once you hit stop, it's an instant stop. right? Most blenders continue to run and slow down. I like that this is an instant stop because now you could instantly take this off without having to mess up, you know, the connections here, because I've had it, you know, if you pull things off too early, it could be grinding. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this off. I'm gonna go get the cutting board here for you guys and watch this. Look at this. Look at that. That's rice powder, man. This stuff is, oh my God, this is so fine. This is like powdered sugar fineness. You can't do this on any other blender, man. Oh my God. So I'm so excited to be starting to offering the Bugatti Vento blender here by Objecto really soon. You know, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below because I will be getting a sample unit. I'll be testing this against the Vitamix. You'll see after I test it how superior this is to any other blender in the market. And yes, sit down, you know, I don't mention price in these videos, but it's gonna cost more, but this is literally the best blender. And if you want the best blender, this is the one to buy at present time. So there are 4 different halls here at the expo. Now I'm in the last hall that I visited on my trip here, and this is the International Sourcing Expo, where they have all the companies from, you know, Taiwan and China sharing their wares. So this is where you would come if you're looking to bring in a juicer, and you would find a manufacturers of juicers in China that you would then put your name on and then sell here in the US. Now, in my opinion, you know, a lot of the things that are happening here are kind of knockoffs, and in some times improvements, but most of the time maybe not improvements of juicers made by other companies, you know. So China is really good at, you know, making copies, and, you know, in many cases they don't work so well. How you know if something is a copy or not? Well, the price is gonna be way less in the marketplace. Also, it's gonna have a much shorter warranty. Some of the name brand juicers have, you know, 5, 10, 15, 12 years of warranty. That's a real machine. Now, if you get a machine with a 90-day or 1-year warranty, it's a lot shorter. Now, I normally don't ever cover any machines in here, but there's a new and innovative company that I want to show you guys today that I really look forward to some of their products, because they're really innovating and taking some of the machines to the next level. And that's what I want the whole industry to do industry-wide, you know. Even if you're one of the big boys, been making blenders or juicers for a lot of years, you know, embrace some of the new technology to make, you know, the appliances better, so that the end user, the consumers, have a better experience, you know, have a better job juicing, you know, have an easier time cleaning, have more yield, and it just works better. So I'm glad there's actually a few companies here in the International Sourcing Hall that are actually innovating and not just copying. So let me go ahead and head down to the one I want to show you guys today. So now I'm walking all around the international sourcing area, and there's so many booths with all different kinds of appliances here, and rice cookers and automatic vacuum cleaners. These don't really interest me because they don't really allow you to lead a healthier lifestyle by getting more fruits and vegetables in you. So the only booth I want to share with you guys today is right here. This is the Greenis company, and they're out of China. And what they have is something revolutionary. There's only 3 companies that I'm aware of in the world that make a DC powered blender. And this is a brushless motor power blender, DC. Now, a lot of you guys don't know what that means. It's DC means direct current, AC means alternating current. You know, blenders that are out there on the market, virtually every other blender on the market is AC blender. Vitamix, Blendtec, every other blender, AC. Now the problem with an AC blender is that under load, they slow down. So even though the Vitamix runs it in excess of 20,000 RPMs, which is pretty good, you know, because you want a fast blending job and it has a pretty good sharp blade. If you put coconut meat and water and other thick things and you're blending in there, I've made the Vitamix slow down to a stop and just burn out, and it just stops functioning. It has a thermal cutoff switch that then it's too hot, it's overloaded because you're working it too hard. You have to put it in the fridge to let it cool down, and then it comes back and it'll work again for you guys. And that's not fun, right? And the DC motor, which is direct current, that will never happen. It will never go under load. Let's look at this for a minute. Many of you guys know what a Tesla car is, right? You guys know what that is? That's a car driven with DC motors. Maybe even similar to the brushless motor inside here, right? It's one of the fastest cars produced. I mean, it blows away Lamborghinis, and maybe not all models, but it's a really fast car because it's a DC motor. This is technology of the future, and this industry, in my opinion, needs to embrace the DC blenders. And unfortunately, you know, companies like Greenis taking a leadership stance in this and making DC blenders. Unfortunately, virtually every other company here, aside from one in the other hall, does not have a DC blender. So anyways, let's go over some of the specs of this blender. It's an industry-leading brushless DC motor, and I'm gonna be straightforward with you guys, right? DC motors, they're expensive. They're not a dime a dozen like AC motors, right? They cost a lot more. So this blender, you know, it's gonna be around $800 to $1,000 is going to be the retail price when it comes out. But let me tell you, in my opinion, hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get one and test one. It will be worth it because it's going to work so much better. It also has instant stop where it doesn't slow down, and it has additional safety features in actually this Greenis blender. Anyways, it's super low noise, so the AC blenders, you know, especially things like the Blendtec, are quite loud. The Vitamix, they do a little bit better, they're a bit more quiet, but this one, due to some of the DC motor and some of the advances with their carafe, it's more quiet, so it's a maximum 75 decibels, which is really quiet for a blender. It also has a consistent load speed, and that's what I was talking about. It does not slow down. You could put the thickest mixtures in there. It's going to continue at the same speed. Now you might be thinking, John, that's a low speed, man, 3,000 to 15,000, because other blenders may run up to 30,000 RPMs. But you know, it's not just about the RPMs, because even though the RPMs are fast at 30,000, that's peak, and it slows down based on the load. So if you put heavy nuts and thick stuff in there, you're making a thick sauce. I make an amazing coconut pudding out of young coconut meat, a little bit of water, some dates, vanilla bean, right? I'll stop the blender, and then I won't get the consistency that I desire because a blender can't do it. This blender should do it and just power through it. Okay, so also they have multiple safety designs. They have several design features in here so that no child will be able to turn it on, and so that you won't be able to, you know, start the blender with the top off. That's amazing. Other companies should have this stuff too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've started the Blendtec blender, the top was ajar, or I left it off and I hit the button and poof, man, I had an explosion all over my kitchen. That's not fun. Anyways, let's go ahead and share with you guys the two different models of DC motors, powered blenders at the Greenis booth. So now I want to share with you guys more about the Greenis Smart Power Blender. Now, not only is this a DC powered blender, but they have several different models at this time. They have this model over on this side, and this model is the more lower end model. It has about 10 speeds, and over on this side they have the upgraded model that has 24 speeds. Now the range is still the same from 3,000 to 15,000 RPMs, but then you have different graduation marks, so you have much more flexibility on the 24 speed model to get the consistency you want by using the speed you desire. So I want to go over some of the features of this blender that are new and different. So number one, they've gone to all touch panel controls instead of having, you know, levers and buttons that, you know, food could get stuck in that are hard to clean. It's all touch panel, LED, it's 100% computer controlled, and this is what all blenders should be in 2016. Everybody has an iPhone that's all touch panel. Why can't we have blenders? And there's so many companies that are still just making, you know, blenders with buttons. In my opinion, that's totally ridiculous. Anyways, they have a different preset program. So say you do a certain smoothie, you could press the preset button. It'll basically vary the speed of the blend so you get a perfect consistency every single time without over blending. That's one of the biggest challenges I see with blending today, is that people turn the blender on because it's so loud. They leave the kitchen, leave it running for a minute or two. They come back and they've over blended, and you don't want to over blend anything, because guys, when you guys over blend stuff, you lose some of the phytonutrients and phytochemicals. So I want to always encourage you guys to blend the least amount of time. And with the Greenis, because it does not slow down, you're going to be definitely blending shorter. Let's see here. Oh, I want to show you guys the safety features, the 3 safety features they have. So number one safety feature is you have to put the blender on the base or the machine will not turn on. That's number one. Number two, they have a child safety built into the base, so when you turn the machine on, you have to hold your finger in a certain place for a couple seconds or it will not allow the machine to start. Furthermore, the new and innovative feature that I really like a lot, so that you don't, you know, make a really silly mistake when you're waking up in the morning, is if you don't have the lid on properly, this little lever will not be pressed in, which will not allow the machine to come on. So this ensures that you put the lid on each and every time. So this is a good safety feature so that kids can't stick their hands down, and that more importantly, you won't blend when the top's off and you splatter your kitchen with stuff, because I've done that a few times, and trust me, you guys don't want to do it. The other thing that's really cool is that they do have a removable blade in here, and let's go ahead and just pull this guy out. They have two different blade designs at present time, and this is a titanium coated stainless steel. Now, I'm not really sure about the titanium coating on here. I'm not sure how that's going to wear in the long run. And this blade, to me, it looks pretty cool, but to me, it needs to be a little bit sharper. Like, I think they should have another blade set that has a little bit sharper blades and does a little bit better cutting than beating. So, like, you know, there's different kinds of blenders out there, and they all work to some extent. And, you know, blenders are a combination of beating and cutting. So in my opinion, something like the Blendtec blender, that's more of a beating blender. The blades are blunt, and they beat stuff to death or into small particles. The Vitamix, in my opinion, is more of a cutting blender. It also beats too at the same time, but it has sharper blades that tend to cut through, so that will decrease the blending time, in my opinion, and also you know, get you down to a finer particle size. And that's what it's about to me. That's why I like to blend, because I can reduce things to a finer particle size, which means you're gonna get a greater uptake in the nutrients. So I like that they do have a removable blade, and I have been told that they have a dual bearing system in here with sealed bearings, and the sealed bearings are specially made in Japan. So this is very important because most inexpensive blenders have you know, off-the-shelf bearings not made for high volume duty use in a high-speed blender, and they fail. And this is where I've seen a lot of blenders fail, and hopefully they got their you know, bearings correct, because the most likely part, in my opinion, of a blender to fail is the bearings. I mean, in the olden days, I used to blow out Blendtec carafes once every 6 months. Vitamix was a little bit better, you know, because I use my blender so much, I might blow out one carafe or the bearing a year. At least on the Vitamix, you can buy the blade assembly like you can on this machine. On the Blendtec, you have to replace the whole carafe, so I think that's dumb. I encourage you guys to reuse your carafes once they seize up and you can't use them. I use them as a scoop out in my garden. Another thing I like about the Greenis company is that they have a nice heavy duty top here, and it has these little flutes in here, so this ensures that you won't get leakage out the top of your blender if you you know, fill it up to the top. In addition, of course, they have a fill you know, a chute here that you could actually fill stuff in. And I want to show you guys this carafe here. So this carafe is the thickest, most durable carafe that I've seen. This is also BPA free. So I know for most of you guys, that is a pro, because if the carafe is thicker, that means you're gonna get less noise. And I know a lot of you guys are noise sensitive. Unfortunately, for those of the people that are maybe a little bit older, you know, I had one lady once say, "Hey John, what's the blender that's the most powerful with the lightest carafe?" Because she couldn't lift heavy things. So this is the heaviest carafe, probably heaviest duty. You know, and if you're one of those people that don't want a heavy carafe, you will not want to get this blender, because it is heavy duty. Now, the other innovation they have, and I really like Greenis because they really have a lot of ideas, and they try to put it in their blenders and take blending to the next level and move the industry forward. They have a revolutionary idea, and that's in their tamper right here, right? Their tamper, which you can use only with the top in place, because once again, the blender will not come on without the top in place. You could use that in there, but in addition, they have a little dot there on the bottom. You guys see that dot? What that dot is, that's a temperature probe. So now you can hit this button on the top of the blender tamper, and it's a thermometer, so you could tell the temperature of whatever you're blending. So this can be important for some people that want to make a soup and want it warm, you know, and then there's other people that want to keep their food under raw food temperatures and keep it cool. You know, one of the things, how the blender works is by creating a vortex, and as it creates a vortex, it creates friction, and as it creates friction, it creates heat. So in my opinion, heat is not good, and neither is the oxidation of the food as it's creating the vortex in there. So we want to minimize the vortex by blending the least amount of time. So the other thing is that they actually have a metal drive spline and socket on the machine. So this is really good. You know, you guys don't want to get one with plastic. The inexpensive machines have plastic, and let me tell you, they bust out all the time. In addition, they're telling me the horsepower of this machine is 3.6 horsepower. And you know, that's a large number. That's more powerful probably than any other blender on the market. Now, the whole fact of the matter is, does that horsepower rating that they're telling me translate into being a blender and being a better blender and working? Well, I don't know, because I haven't tested this one yet. Hopefully I'll be working with Greenis to start testing this one, and even being able to offer it to you guys. Now, right now they have currently no US distribution, and you know, aside from the product looking cool, all these models are either demo models or 220 volt models, so they can't even plug one in here for me so I could even try it. So hopefully I'll be getting a machine soon. I'll be testing it all out, and I'll be giving them my feedback so that they can improve their machine. Because my whole message to any manufacturer, and if you guys are manufacturers out there listening, you know, any manufacturer, we need to move the industry forward. Things need to get better. This is why the Tesla car is selling so well. I mean, it blows away other cars. Look up on YouTube when, you know, it's like you get in a Tesla car, like the model P90 D or whatever, and then you sit in it and they floor it and you're like thrown back in the seat, right? This is the power of DC motors, and so I'm glad Greenis is taking a leadership approach and making a DC powered motor to bring the industry forward. And I hope that other companies such as Vitamix, Blendtec make DC powered motors too, because to me, a lot of the companies in the industry are like American car makers, you know, and no offense to American car makers out there, but they just kind of do the same old thing and the big boys that they've been doing all these years, and they don't really innovate. And I mean, in the end, I'm not just a retailer of these devices, the blenders, the juicers, and all the products I've shown you guys today. I use these things each and every day. The day before I came out here, I used my juicer 3 times to make all my meals of the day. I use my blender every day to make my soup in the evening. I use these machines each and every day, and I want my user experience to be better, just like I want yours. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, me here at the 2016 International Home and Houseware Show, hey, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know. That'll encourage me to come back next year and share this important information and these new appliances coming out in the market with you guys, because nobody else I know does this stuff, right? The other thing I want to do is I want to encourage you guys to support me and my work. If you like this video, please, you know, check out my website, discountjuicers.com, and make your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This directly goes to help support me so I can continue to make these videos for you guys and educate you guys, because nobody else is talking about even DC blenders, right? Last thing I want to do is encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes that have coming out about every 5 to 7 days, a new juicer comparison. You know, I test juicers, share with you guys hints and tips, all this kind of stuff. Invaluable for sure. And also be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 450 episodes now comparing all kinds of juicers and blenders to one another and keeping you up to date with all the new technology in this field coming out. So once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. All right, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you guys, and I'm here at the 2016 Natural Products Expo West. I'm here at the TriBest booth, and why I'm here today is to share with you guys about the benefits of juicing and also blending. Juicing and blending are the best 2 ways in this entire haul to get the best